What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and baby, let's get into the drama of it all. So we're talking all things housewives. Y'all, I'm so bummed. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Let's get into it. All right, y'all, let's first talk about the small story. So it looked like Peter might be going to jail. So this was posted on June the 25th, but it says Real Housewives of Atlanta star charged in Charlotte for failing to pay millions in taxes. It says Peter Thomas, a former Real Housewives of Atlanta star, is facing felony charges for spending $2.5 million, withholding it from employees' paycheck at his Charlotte, Miami, and Baltimore sports club. Thomas, who was married until 2017 to Cynthia Bailey, another star for Bravo reality show, made all business decisions for two Charlotte bars. He used unpaid taxes to travel and buy real estate, according to documents filed Monday in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of North Carolina. A sealed plea agreement was also filed Monday, and the 63-year-old, Peter looked good for 63-year-old will have a hearing in front of the U.S. Magistrate Judge Susan Rodriguez later this week. It says in Charlotte from 2017 to 2022, Club One and Sparks One Bar and Lounge collected more than $640,000 in trust fund taxes or income taxes, Social Security taxes, and Medicare taxes that employees withhold from employee wages until they are paid to the the IRS, basically, Internal Revenue Service. None of it made it to the Treasury Department, according to the courts. In a video posted on social media Monday, Thomas said that the case has been going on for more than 2 years and apologizes to his family and friends. And I'll play that video for you guys. Now, I sped it up because it was long. So let me play that for you, and then I'll continue reading.
Etc. Good afternoon, social media world, including Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc. All right, I'm here to make a statement. My attorney and I have been working on a case for the last 2.5 years now, and it came in on where I'm putting out this statement. I must have to apologize to my mom, my dad that's passed, and my kids, my friends, immediate family members, and anybody out there that checked for me. I did some wrong that I have to make right. I have to stand up. I have to be accountable. I have to be responsible, and I have to pay my debt. For 2.5 years ago, the IRS started a case that went back 10 years and showed that from one struggling business to the next and the next, that I'd failed to pay my withholding taxes on time. And at some point when the business wasn't doing well, failed to pay at all. And it's something that I thought I could work out, catch up with, make hold, but the hole got deeper for me. So I deeply regret, and I'm saying this with all sincerity, I deeply regret not to make the IRS withholding tax a priority in my life, with no excuses, because there is none. It's the law. I'm finding out a lot about that law lately, and what I need to say to all business owners out there: if you're starting out a business, make sure that you're funded enough to cover your payroll after you pay your rent and you pay your utilities and you pay your vendors. Make sure that you could cover those withholding taxes, and make sure on the 20th of every month you pay those revenue taxes, because when those things add up, Uncle Sam is your partner, and they're not getting their piece, and keep on adding it up. It's going to come and it's going to bite you like it's biting me now. Okay, so I deeply regret, not paying my withholding taxes in a timely manner or in any manner that would put me in the place where I am now. And but I'm going to be accountable. I'm going to be responsible, and I'm going to pay my debt. Okay, because that's the agreement, and that's the way it is. Okay. Thank you for the time. I'll be talking about this some more, probably. Okay, but I'm quite sure when it comes out, because y'all like to put me in the shade room and all those other places, I'm quite sure it's going to be all over the place, because I am Peter Anthony Thomas. Okay. Again, I apologize to the United States government, who gave me such a wonderful opportunity to express myself and build these businesses. And I let them down, I let myself down, I let my family down, and I'm going to make amends. Okay.
So it continues by saying Club One, once located near, I think it's Avid Exchange Music Factory and North Carolina Music Factory Boulevard, closed in 2019, 2 years after the North Carolina's Secretary of State dissolved it in 2017 for failing to file a 2016 report. Beazel's Gallery Lounge now occupies the building. Sport One Bar and Lounge, located in Uptown on North College Street, closed in 2022, 4 years after the state dissolved it in 2018 for failing to file in 2017 report. It still operates under the same name. Thomas Bar One, location in Miami and in Baltimore, collected more than $1.1 million in trust fund taxes and contributed to the $2.5 million that Thomas is accused of spending. So after reading the article, that video makes more sense now, because I saw the video first. I saw a clip of it. I really didn't pay any attention to it. I kept on with about my day, and then I saw the post by Dorinda Deadly talking about it, and I was like, Peter, what did you do? So reading the article makes me understand that whatever the IRS got on Peter, it's probably he in trouble. He basically in trouble. That's what that apology video was. And maybe he's trying to soften the blow of what they're going to do to him in order, with apologizing and taking responsibility, so it's not as harsh. I mean, I haven't heard anything really truly negative about Peter, to be honest, other than that situation that happened with Tammy, what's her name? Waka Flocka's ex, the whole cousin, and supposedly Peter was being aggressive with that lady or something, allegedly, but all the charges got dropped. I had a family member who used to work at the restaurant that he owned, or the bar he owned in Charlotte, but she never said any bad thing about him. She said for the most part he was pretty cool. But yeah, you don't play with taxes. I've always said this, the 3-letter mafia is not to be played with. You don't play with the FBI, the IRS, and the CIA, especially the IRS, because the IRS somehow always gets their money. Okay? Let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. So this was reported yesterday by TMZ, and I'm getting this from Jay's reality blog, but it says, at TMZ reports that hashtag Kenya Moore will not be returning to hashtag RHOA season 16. It goes on to say, now we're told Kenya has not been fired from RHOA. Instead, we're told both sides have agreed that she is going to take a break from the show for now. Our sources say Bravo is keeping the door open for her return. However, we're also told Kenya is considering legal options at this point because she is not happy with how this whole mess unfolded. So I saw this yesterday and I said, damn. So I said, okay. Then I ended up seeing that Love B. Scott was reporting that Kenya was fired for season 16, according to their sources. And then y'all know I enjoy Bryce Sanders? He ended up posting, I found it. He posted this last night where he said, yes, the Kenya exit is real and it was her choice. It's unclear how, if all this will be addressed on hashtag RHOA when season 16 airs. They could just edit her out / around this. And as for reports, the door is open for the future. I've been told that's not necessarily true. So one of the Kenya fan pages asked Bryce a question after he posted this, where they said, what happened? We just saw a physical altercation on New Jersey. This whole thing seems overblown. So he responded to this person by saying, Danielle and Jen were both suspended after that incident and only cleared to return after an investigation. Same as Kenya's case, she opted out. It also came down to code of conduct clauses in their contracts, which are under a microscope in the current climate of lawsuits. So then we got confirmation from Kenya that what was being told to us was actually true. So this was posted by TV Deets yesterday, and it is a It's Kenya's tweet. Y'all know she blocked me. Where she said, hashtag Team Twirl forever. You are the best fans anyone could ever ask for. I love you all so very much, always and forever. And the funny thing is I should have known something like this was coming down the pipeline. And the reason why I say that is because prior to us getting this information yesterday, like around like 7 or 8 o'clock, I remember Kenya had been posting like cryptic messages on her Instagram. Like she posted this one where she said, nobody's perfect. We make mistakes. We say wrong things. We do wrong things. We fall. We get up. We learn. We grow. We move on. We live. And then she captioned that by saying, have a great weekend. Then she posted this one video, and let me play that for you guys.
Some people will trigger you on purpose, just to get a negative reaction out of you. Then they'll take that moment, frame it, and only share your reaction with other people.
So I should have known something was up when I saw that. I definitely should have known something was up when I saw that. So I was just like, ugh. But I didn't think it would come to this because, some people believe Kenya got fired, and some people believe that what TMZ was saying is that, they mutually came to an agreement and they walked away. So today, Kenya made another statement. She said this: thank you all for the support. Hashtag Team Twirl. My heart is full and my conscience is clean. So many false claims hiding behind anonymous sources. All this conversation and no facts being reported. If a claim or source was valid, would they need to hide? My life is blessed. Myself and my daughter will continue to thrive in a non-toxic environment where we will feel appreciated and, most importantly, protected. Thank God for covering us. So she posted that today at 11:36 a.m. June the 26th. Then she came back around I think around like 12:42 or 12:32, where she added a new she edited the post and she added more to it, where she said this. It's and this is coming from the RHOA talk, saying Kenya has updated her captioning, mentioning she did not share any illicit content and will provide evidence. So she posted this, where she says, thank you for all your support. Hashtag Team Twirl. My heart is full and my conscience is clean. And then down at the bottom, she said, the rumors and narratives about me randomly showing nudes or revenge P is 1,000% untrue. I have proof and I will share soon. So the last thing I saw from Kenya was this post in her Insta story where it says, you can try to destroy a legacy, but you will never destroy a queen. Kenya. So I guess she's like, you know what? Y'all can say all these bad things about me, but my legacy stands for itself. Kenya also has been in the comments defending herself. A commenter said this: you cannot expect to put out sexually explicit pictures of another woman, talk about how she's an escort, show photos of her giving fellatio, and then have the nerve to be pissed when you get called out on it. Kenya's bad behavior is all Bravo's fault. They've allowed her to, God, that is small. My bad, you guys. They have allowed her to do this for as long as she's been on the show. Now that Bravo may be held culpable for her antics that she pulled with sexually explicit photos, now they're trying to cover themselves. She got thrown under the bus. That's revenge, PORN. You get sued for that. And Kenya responded to that person saying, Bravo has never accused me of a revenge, PRN. I did not engage in revenge, PORN. So Kenya is really serious about, like, girl, I did not do what y'all are trying to accuse me of. So Kenya is holding very strong and hard to, like, girl, I did not put out revenge PRN on this lady. And she actually has a decent amount of people who are either defending her or supporting her. Team Twirl is in full effect right now, but there's also other people that have been defending her. There was a clip of Candy and what's her name? Tiny doing a radio show with Young Jock where she spoke on how she didn't like the fact that Kenya was being suspended. So let me play that for you.
And realistically, I do see stuff and I'm like, why they doing that? Like, I don't like the fact that they suspended Kenya.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people's like, she shouldn't have shown that. But it's the Housewives. Like, how many times we done did something that you think somebody shouldn't do? So who made the rules? Like, why
Right.
y'all all of a sudden got such an issue with somebody doing something crazy to somebody? It's
Believe
like,
it or not, that
if
drama
it
draws
was in the
too.
public, if it was in the internet, and the girl came at her, it's like, okay, well,
That was the
you
result.
don't get to choose how she come back. So I just wasn't feeling all of that. But hey, we'll see when it come on TV.
Yeah, for
You know,
Kenya
everybody's
Moore,
so sensitive now. Everything. You know.
Yeah.
and I just knew with bringing Kenya back, it was going to keep like the little drama going.
Yeah.
And she's needed, like
I
to agitate.
I
a little
totally
situ-
agree.
She's needed.
Oh, she kept it going all right.
Yeah, she definitely did. Now
Really,
she's
Lana,
suffering
stand
for it. But, and I would say this, being a person that has been there, it'd be a lot of people on the show who be trying to protect their image, so they'll say stuff off.
And this was posted on June the 21st. And a lot of people were really upset with Kandi. I even saw Kenya going back and forth with someone in the comments. A person said this, but when Phaedra lied, she got kicked off the show and you praised Bravo for doing so and refused to even film with her again. What Kenya did was wrong, illegal, and her friends don't hold her accountable. So Kenya responded to this person by saying, "You're assuming a lot. Not one credible, including my corporate employees, has confirmed anything whatsoever. Therefore, everyone is literally running with unsubstantiated claims and false narratives." And she continued by saying, patience is a virtue and so is due process. And a lot of people were mad that Kandi was sticking up or advocating for Kenya. And my thing about it is like, I kind of get why people are upset, but I kind of don't, because I feel like people are trying to conflate what supposedly happened between Brittany and Kenya to what we actually saw play out with Kandi, Phaedra, and Porsha, because they allowed Porsha and Phaedra to perpetuate a narrative that Kandi and Todd was out here trying to Bill Cosby people and take them down to a sex dungeon for a whole entire season. Like, they really let them tarnish that lady's reputation just degrade her reputation for a whole entire season. This is not the same thing to me. It's totally not the same thing to me. And the fact that people are trying to say, well, Phaedra got kicked off because of Kandi. Phaedra got kicked off because of her actions and because Kandi said if she was going to be on here, y'all can continue this show, but you'll continue this show without me. On top of, y'all keep conveniently forgetting that other people on the cast said that they would not film with Phaedra. They wouldn't. And once people say they don't want to film with you, and then the person that they feel is like one of their biggest cash cows say, yeah, I'm not doing this show if she's here, then what does the network have? Like, they're picking their biggest cash cow that has the least amount of problems with everybody versus the lady who was out here perpetuating this narrative. And the fact that Porsha got to come back, which is wild to me, but Porsha has the halo effect. She's pretty and she's likable. If Porsha was ugly to people or they didn't find her likable, but she was pretty, she wouldn't be axed back. She would not be axed back. She got axed back and she got demoted, but she shouldn't have been back. They should have set her down because you played a part in that situation too. But it seems like a few people are actually coming to Kenya's defense. So let's read their post. So like I said, a couple of people came out in defense of Kenya. So when the news broke yesterday, I saw this post from Preston. He said, soon there about to be 0 black shows. And then he said, never mind. And I actually agree with him, but I'm going to change black to minority shows on Bravo, because let's be real. They put Summer House Martha's Vineyard on pause. They put Family Karma on pause. They put Southern Charm New Orleans on pause, and although that wasn't a all black cast, it was a pretty mixed cast. They put that on pause. They got rid of Shots of Sunset. Like, we don't really have any like truly diverse shows on Bravo. And when Bravo was coming up, there was a decent amount of to me, it kind of balanced out. I remember there was Blood, Sweat, and Heels. That was almost an all black female cast. We had Married to Medicine LA. That was a pretty mixed cast. You had Married to Medicine Houston. They had a mixed cast of there was a Indian woman, there was a Hispanic woman, there was, I think one lady was mixed. I think she was Asian and white. Like, we don't have any diverse shows on Bravo like that right about now. And right now, a lot of people are starting to feel like they're purposely trying to sabotage RHOA and RHOP. And right about now, it is kind of feeling that way. But I really don't know if that's the network, more so production. Like purveyors, no, we need purveyors of pop to start, they need better production companies, because I think Truly Original is the one that does Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, Potomac, and Atlanta, and Married to Medicine. I need them to get somebody new, because what they giving ain't giving. So then Ashley Silva from Love and Marriage DC said this: "Child, like I said, people aren't going to be happy until they're watching white paint dry in TV. Oversensitive / overzealous comments, recast, reboot, fire, cancel, blah, blah, blah." And this isn't very surprising from Ashley, because she had a rough season, the last season that premiered of Love and Marriage DC, where a lot of people were calling for her to be fired. And here's my thing: we have moments where we get so sick of somebody we want them off of the show. But then I oftentimes sit back and I'm like, okay, why are we getting rid of somebody who's bringing zest to the show, who's bringing the spiciness to the show? Because once you kick them off and it's kind of a mundane, kind of a slice of life, like a lifestyle show, a liken to Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where honestly nothing really happens on that show, but people enjoy looking at their life. You can't get that with every reality show. You need somebody that's going to bring something. That I can understand where Ashley is coming from, where it's like, y'all want these shows that are interesting and bring the drama and all of this stuff, but then y'all take off the people that are bringing it, and then y'all complain about the show being boring. Even Don Juan came out and said this. He said, "So let me just say this: morals or ethics are not what makes the decision. It's solely based on liability and budget. Just saying." And that is an interesting take. So there were other people who also came out showing their support or giving their opinions about Kenya's situation. We got Teresa Giudice from Real Housewives of New Jersey. She posted in her Insta story where she said, "Love you, beautiful," at Kenya. And it's a cute collage of Kenya being at her wedding, them doing the Super Bowl commercial together, and then two other photos of them taking pictures together. Like, they were able to get close when they went on Ultimate Girls Trip. So Teresa does really like Kenya. And then I saw Brandy Glanville make a comment, and I said, "Girl, what you got to say, Brandy?" So Brandy said this today. She said, "Create the villain, enable the villain, praise the villain, then punish the villain for being a villain. Women are physically fighting on RHO and J, and that seems to be okay with producers. Where is HR now? Also, I'm pretty sure producers push Kenya to show that video. They know what is going to happen before it does, just like they all knew of Taylor's physical abuse as it was happening." So if you don't know who Taylor, she's talking about Taylor from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, when Camille outed that she was in a domestic violence situation. So I'm not gonna lie, Brandy kind of ate that. She kind of ate it. She kind of ate the whole, create the villain, enable the villain, praise the villain, then punish the villain for being a villain. She ate that. And I do agree with her statement where she said producers know what's going on, or they're privy to that information, because to be honest, that's what I've heard. That is what I heard. That's why so many people are disgusted with the whole storyline with Destiny versus Sunny. I don't watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, but I understood the context. I've seen clips where there was a woman on the show. She had a producer. The Destiny was no longer a part of the show. And then the producer popped up with her boyfriend getting married. And a lot of people were disgusted by it, because these talent shares so much of their lives with producers that it's like they are privy to certain things, like Brandy mentioning the DV situation Taylor was going through. Like, they know a lot of things. Like, each producer is like that person's producer. So somebody knew to a certain extent what Kenya was going to do, but maybe they thought it would be okay, but now they're like trying to backpedal. It's a lot. It's still weird, because it's still weird that Bravo has not put out a statement about this, which makes me feel again like what happened. Because again, something happened, but I don't know if it was as serious as Revenge P, like they're trying to say it is. So continuing with people showing their support for Kenya, after she posted that statement about, having peace of mind and, being like, her and her daughter are going to be okay, Porsha actually responded underneath the post by saying, "A beautiful vacation with your princess is exactly what you need." So I don't think Kenya is in the country. So it looks like Porsha is still riding with Kenya. You then have Kandi. She did an Amazon Live and she shared her thoughts about the departure of Kenya. So let me play that for you.
Of this season, and then there was an incident that happened. I wasn't there. I can't give you a detail of what happened, but it makes me sad. I'm not lying about how I feel, because she is my friend. I do love her. I do not know the other young lady, so, it's not a diss to her. It's just simply, I just feel like Kenya, I know she goes far sometimes, right? And I get it. But I have never known her to make up anything about anybody. And if things are out there about you, when you join on a reality show, unfortunately, people are able to pull up things that you've done and share them. And not to say that it's always a nice thing to do or that it's a cool thing to do, but it happens. And I just kind of hate how, because of the situation, she had, they decided to part ways or whatever. And I just felt like, well, dang, like it wasn't nothing else we could do. We couldn't have just said, okay, because I just feel like Kenya is a major part of the show. And I feel like this is the end of an era. I don't care who disagrees. I feel like it's the end of the era. It doesn't matter if you didn't like her or whatever. You always gonna need somebody who doesn't mind being real and keeping it 100 on camera, pushing the story, meaning like bringing up things that other people be trying to avoid the topic. And you gotta have that person, or else everybody's just gonna be talking about only what they think is cool for them. They're not gonna necessarily take on the hard conversations on the show. And so I think she's one of those people who made sure that people spoke about what they had to speak about. And so now that she's gone, I just want to see how that's going to work. I don't know.
Yeah, y'all, like Kandi said, it's an end of an era, and it sucks because this is not how I wanted Kenya to go out. I told y'all I'm not a part of Team Twirl. I'm a reformed Kenya hater, but it just sucks that this is it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how she's going out, and she allowed a newbie to get her here. And I wonder what she said that made her, really react in such a way, especially with them only being 1 month into filming. I'm wondering if they're going to cut Kenya's scenes out, or if they're going to film around her. Like, truly, I don't know what they're about to do, but it truly is an end of an era. We don't have Kenya, we don't have Kandi, and we don't have Nene. And it's funny because when we didn't have Nene, we had Kandi and we had Kenya. And when we didn't have Kenya, we still had Nene and Kandi. And now we don't have 3 staples of this franchise. So I'm really wondering what season 16 is going to be. Again, I'm just disappointed. But my theory, and the theory that my dad had, so I'll tell you my dad's theory. My dad really thinks that they couldn't afford Kenya anymore. He was like, honestly, when companies let go of their star players, he said either they can't afford them, or they're not willing to pay them what they're worth. And he was like, if they set her down for a suspension and they reviewed the footage and what she did wasn't egregious like Revenge P, but it still was in violation of the code of conduct that she signed in her contract, my dad was like, they probably were trying to dock her pay, and maybe that's why they came to oh, we're gonna mutually part ways, because she didn't think it was right for them to I guess mess with her money. And I was just like, you know what? You might be right, because my dad also was like, because if he was like, if they wanted her there, she would be there. And I said, you know what, Dad? You right, because honestly, I feel like since last season they were trying to get rid of Kenya. I think that they were trying to phase her out, because we didn't get a lot of scenes with Kenya. And then when she went to Carlos King and expressed how like she was upset about that and the different things that they filmed that we didn't see, in my mind I was like, oh, they're trying to like phase you out. But I think what happened is when that news got out that they were trying to do that reboot and the response wasn't well received, even though I was okay with them giving us a brand new cast, but the response wasn't well received. I think they said, okay, we have to pick at least 2 or 3 people from season 15 and then build around them. But because they took so long, Candy said, I got other jobs to do and y'all taking too long. But it's crazy that now we only have Drew out of all of the people from season 15. Like Drew was the lone survivor. But I really think that this incident allowed them to like be like, okay, girl, we ain't even really want you back for season 16 and you doing this type of stuff. We'll call you back if we need you for season 17, because I think that's why the door is still open, because if them ratings suck for season 17, they're going to probably have to dig back in their bag and bring out Kenya. But the last thing we're going to talk about is Miss Angela Oakley. So it looks like she has now unfollowed Britt Eady. She unfollowed her back on June the 16th, or that's when the people were reporting that she unfollowed Britt. But now, yesterday, after all the shenanigans that came out about Kenya in this situation, her and Porsha have unfollowed each other. And then she posted this post on her Insta story where she said, I quietly removed myself from situations now. I'm not over explaining myself. I'm not going back and forth. I'm not looking for closure. I'm not causing a scene, nothing. You'll just never hear from me again. I'm done overextending myself for others. So a lot of people feel like that was directed towards Porsha, but I'm also like, girl, y'all only been filming for a month. What has transpired? But then again, when I told my daddy that she was going to be on the show, and I was like, her husband, my dad said her husband is built different. He said that man was an enforcer back in the day in like the 80s and 90s. And my daddy said in the 80s, them boys was on that court fighting, and he was one of the ones that was fighting. So he was like, she might have it in her. And I said, maybe, because y'all know I've been saying that Angela gives like to me that she might be the Cynthia or the new version of Cynthia. But hey, she might be with it. She might be with the games and the shenanigans. And they just went to Nashville for Porsha's birthday. So I guess production said we gonna keep this train rolling. This was posted by the RHOA Talk, where they said the ladies recently went to their first cast trip for season 16 to Nashville, Tennessee for Porsha's cowgirl themed birthday, because Porsha just had a birthday. But I don't know. I really don't know what they're gonna do. I'm not opting out of watching the show, but I am feeling like, is it really going to be worth it anymore now that Kenya's not there? And the reason why I say that is, honestly, y'all, this cast ain't giving. I'm just going to have to call a thing a thing. I mean, Kelly's story seems interesting, but how much of Kelly's bitter divorce are we going to get? Porsha's whole entire relationship with Simon has been playing out on the internet for us. Drew, I think, is the only one that has been very quiet about her situation with Ralph. We don't know much about what Shamia is going to give us. I don't know what Britt is about to give us, and I don't know what Angela Oakley is about to give us. And it just doesn't seem like any of these women really have, like, they don't have that spark for me, you know? And I'm just wondering what they're going to bring. I was like thinking, like, now that Kenya's not going to be there anymore, are they going to bring in a new housewife to replace her? Are they going to go back and try to find an oldie? Don't bring Sheree back. But are they going to bring one of the old girls back? Or are they just going to keep the cast as is? Like, are they just going to film a couple of scenes and see, like, if it's working? Some people believe that they should just scrap the whole entire cast and give us a brand new cast. I don't know, to be honest, y'all. But what I will say, Britt need to watch her back. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people, in my opinion, are going to be looking for Britt to be that it girl now that she has, dethrone Kenya. And if she doesn't have a good storyline this season coming, or if she is not a likable person and she beefs with people that other people find, better than her, then they are going to be harassing Bravo for the whole entire season and her about letting go of Kenya because of her. So I hope Britt is smart and she be on her P's and Q's for the rest of the season. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. I don't know what's going to happen with RHOA. But remember to be bravely authentic, and y'all hop down in them comments below and give me your thoughts. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.